Coming up, we take a look at the conditions during Wednesday's winter storm.
Plus, a teenager is facing a murder charge in connection with a deadly shooting earlier this month in Sioux Falls. We have the latest on the investigation. Good morning. This is KELOLAND On The Go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
In South Dakota, the arrival of a white Christmas also brought with it some white-knuckle driving conditions.
Wednesday's storm brought snow and fierce winds that made it tough for drivers to see the road ahead, whether in town or out in the country.
It's bad. A lot of whiteouts. Then I came back from T. Visibility is probably under half a mile, I would say. It's just the wind. You get into the spots and there's total whiteouts.
Trucker Philip Stahl says the storm will likely delay some deliveries of freight until the weekend.
For some people in KELOLAND, Wednesday's storm wasn't that fun, but others were able to get some enjoyment from the wild winter weather.
A viewer sent us this video from Elkton showing two kids swinging in the falling snow.
If you have pictures or video of the weather in your area, we'd love to see them. You can send them to ushare@keloland.com. Now let's get a check of our weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Good morning, Brian.
All right. Good morning, guys. Good morning, everybody. After all that wind yesterday and the snow, weather today, it's certainly a lot quieter as we look at the conditions and following this storm, some cold air. So we have a wind chill advisory this morning that does include Brookings, Watertown, Ortonville, Marshall, and Worthington. So prepare for those wind chills to continue to be in the minus 20 to minus 30 range. Snow cover. So this is a pretty good look at who had what here. 2 to 4 inches was the going forecast, and many of the snow amounts kind of fell into that general range. Sioux Falls ended up just a little under 3. Meanwhile, we had a little over 4 around Tyndall, west and northwest of Yankton. And that was kind of the same story into parts of northwest Iowa. Today, we're just going to struggle with those temperatures. Single digits pretty common from Marshall to Watertown. Sioux Falls, we're hoping for a high of 11. Meanwhile, Rapid City could get to the low to mid 40s today. A closer look at the numbers for the rest of our forecast just coming up.
Thanks, Brian. A teenage boy will be charged with murder following a shooting earlier this month that left another teenager dead. Investigators say 17-year-old Sembel Sali and 16-year-old Ephraim Shulu were involved in a deadly marijuana deal on December 9th. Sioux Falls police say Shulu was shot that night and died at the hospital.
Though Sali isn't the one who shot Shulu, police say he will still be charged with murder. He was arrested Wednesday morning after law enforcement carried out a warrant at a house on East 6th Street.
We're almost 2 weeks into this now, since Ephraim died, but we're one step closer to holding everybody else accountable that should be held accountable. I think at a minimum right now we have one person outstanding.
Police are still looking for 17-year-old Devin Monaloo. He is wanted for second-degree murder and first-degree manslaughter.
Sioux Falls police are also investigating a robbery in the eastern part of the city. Around 9 o'clock last night, police were called to the area of East 18th Street and South Cleveland Avenue for reports of a robbery at a nearby business.
Authorities say the suspect entered the business, threatened an employee with a weapon, and demanded money. The suspect took some money and ran from the business heading south. The employee was not hurt. The suspect is described as 6'1" tall and a man wearing a black mask, blue sweatshirt, black jacket, overalls, and boots.
Police in Sioux City, Iowa believe 2 people connected with a shooting earlier this week may have fled to Sioux Falls. Authorities are searching for 26-year-old Rudy Johnson on charges of willful injury, intimidation with a dangerous weapon, and felon in possession of a firearm. He is considered armed and dangerous.
Detectives are also looking for 20-year-old Tiara Norris of Sioux Falls to question her about her role in the shooting. Investigators say someone shot 28-year-old Krista Kruckenberg outside a bar on Sunday. She is still in the hospital being treated for her injuries. Sioux Falls Animal Control and Game Fish and Parks are working together to control the deer population around the city. Their focus will be along the interstates and anywhere with high amounts of car crashes with deer.
The two biggest areas they will be focusing on is the interstate interchange at I-229 and Rice Street, as well as south of I-229 along Cliff Avenue. The goal is to remove 50 deer from those targeted areas.
All of the deer that are harvested are taken to a processor, and the meat is all donated. This year it will be going directly to Feeding South Dakota. Usually we end up with over 1,000 pounds of meat donated to local food pantries out of this program.
DeYoung says their hunters only use suppressed rifles in areas they know are safe. Well, that's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, weather this morning. Well, a couple flurries in the Black Hills, a little patch of snow or two there, northern Black Hills, but generally speaking, warmer weather today in the west. Sioux Falls and much of the east is just clear and cold. A little bit of a breeze from the northwest, but not nearly as strong, not anything close to yesterday's levels. High pressure tonight, that's going to keep us settled down to the cold weather in the Sioux Falls area, and especially to the north, will be even a little below zero Christmas morning in some spots. I think, though, the overall trend for Christmas Day is to moderate. The temperature forecast well into the 50s for Rapid City, and Sioux Falls could even make that 30, maybe 31 degree mark. Now, there is another system gathering some strength from the northwest in Sunday's forecast. I do want to include a mention of that. There could be some snow crisscrossing the plains, maybe a dash of wind. I'm hoping not nearly as strong as yesterday, but could be dealing with some 30-mile-an-hour winds, so something there to check back in on Sunday as you plan accordingly with that. Otherwise, looks like some colder air will arrive once again behind that system. Temperatures today, cold indeed for Brookings at 7. Meanwhile, Rapid City all the way to 45. Lows tonight, here for this Christmas Eve, we're looking at 2 below in Sioux Falls, 2 above 0 Aberdeen. Tomorrow, Christmas Day, 31. Not bad with that sunshine in Sioux Falls. 55 in Rapid City. And we are projecting right now highs likely returning to the 20s on Saturday. So again, with that in mind, that's not bad at all. Pretty close to normal for this time of the year. 22 on Sunday, could see some snow, and then colder early next week. And then by the end of the forecast, there is the mention of more snow. A lot of questions yet to hammer out, but keep an eye on that. That's a more substantial storm, and it's the first one of the season to come out of the southwestern part of the country. And those are the ones we usually watch a little more. Obviously, many things, though, to keep an eye on that. Here in central South Dakota, we bounce back to 44 tomorrow. Very mild Christmas, but a bit of a cooling trend. In fact, by early next week, we should be in the 20s. And just like everybody else, there will be some snow possibilities at the end of the 7-day in Rapid City. Check out the latest coverage online with our Storm Center update at KELOLAND.com. And have yourself a great day.